believe your marriage is in need of coaching, Shamika and I are certified marriage and life coaches. Just log into our website, www.hiswifeherhusband.net, to book your discovery call.
Wives, if you are looking for one-on-one coaching, put his wife in the notes section.
Husbands, if you are looking for one-on-one coaching, put her husband in the notes section.
Husbands and wives, if you are looking for marriage coaching as a couple, put his wife, her husband in the notes section.
Remember, our purpose is to help you build
and sustain your marriage
from a biblical perspective.
So go on over to www.hiswifeherhusband.net to schedule your discovery call today. I would say, Shamika, count up the cost before you get in this relationship. Mm-hmm. Stop and consider what all you will have to give up, and stop and consider who you will become. Mm-hmm. I want you to step back and consider if he's worth that. Do you really love him? And a love without any conditions. If he never changes, can you still say yes to the assignment? If you cannot say yes to the assignment, then don't sign up for it. Don't agree to it. Yeah. I also would tell the younger Shamika that I'm very proud of her. That she's definitely more resilient than she could have ever thought.
That's good.
That she does not duck tail and run, and that she represented us well. Marriage is serious, so if you are not willing to do your part, then really don't sign up for it. Because I have heard stories where people will get married and they said, like, I didn't think that he would change. Like, he said he was a believer. Like, he actually said he was. And then he ended up Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like, it's like, whoa, where did that come from? So just know that a lot of times when you do get married, who you envision you see your end with, he is it, but he's undeveloped. He's undeveloped. And so you all have to grow and develop together. But yeah, do not sign up for this married life thinking that it is going to be sacrifice free, suffering free, drama free. I know we don't want to sign up for the drama, but a lot of times it's going to come with it. Life comes with the drama, but make sure that you are not contributing to that. Yeah.
Would you tell them what you told the church about the receipts?
I think I remember that. So
receipts free.
Yeah. So you want to do your best to minimize, like, life is going to come with stuff. But you want to do your part to not make unnecessary purchases or transactions that you would have to that you would later regret. Like, you don't want to have a proof of purchase that you did XYZ. It's like, just don't go down that lane. I hope that I said it right, but yeah. So you're gonna have heartaches and hardships, but if you know that doing it your own way, or listen, be honest, giving your heart away, exchanging your value for a moment or a fleeting touch or a cheap thrill, like, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not willing to exchange for this Happy Meal versus waiting for that 6-course meal. It's better for you to save up and wait than to to use all of your expenses on this one transaction,
That's
and
good.
you left with nothing. Like just hold your appetite, amen. Hold your sexual appetite,
Yeah.
so that you will not be a notch on some man's belt. Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter, I don't know if the story is out. A spoiler alert. If you are a notch on somebody's belt, then it's like it's just not what it's cracked up to be. That's the best way I can say. The spoiler alert is that it's not all that it's cracked up to be when you sell your own self out for this cheap thrill.
Yeah.
If you are currently finding yourself in a marriage where you are married to an unbeliever, I want you to definitely do an assessment, because we don't talk about that a lot either. That when you are going through some type of hardship, you need to count up the cost. Like, see if it's really worth it. All right. If you have more assets than liabilities, and if the person is, the unfortunate is if your spouse is saying that they don't want it and they not, giving you any feedback or whatever the case may be, you may have to distance yourself to regroup for yourself, to give yourself that oxygen mask first. So then you can better give or better help them out. All right.
What does that mean by distancing yourself?
That means that you may have to separate, pull back from investing and giving out of your out of your just enough or your barely enough, so that you can live. Like, I put it like this: sometimes women can be in relationships, and by nature we are just nurturers and we are just givers, but we give to a fault because we're not seeing about ourselves. We're not giving that self care that we need. So it's like, okay, if that's the life you choose to live, do you. Right now, I'm going to have to focus on me and making sure that I'm healthy for me and the children, if there are children that are involved. And so it's like you distance yourself. And when I say distance now, of course, if it's violence and severe abuse, or abuse for that matter, you may need to go back home if you have a place to go to. You may need to go to a shelter. You may need to go to somewhere, emergency housing.
Yeah.
You may need to do your part so that you can remain safe and you can be restored. And then you can then put some boundaries up. Okay, if you want to come back in this marriage, we're going to have to go through marriage counseling. We're going to have to go through some therapy, right? We need to deal with some stuff of the past, because you hurt me. You said some things that I have not forgotten, even
Recover
though
from. Right.
and then the therapy is, now how do we move forward? Because this going to happen again where we don't have money in the account. Are you going to cuss me out again? Right? So it's like, if you choosing not to be a believer, then how are we going to manage through this? And then by the same token, it's like you get to do an assessment of your own heart. Can I say that I can stay in this space of us not being compatible spiritually and be at peace with me? Can I do that? And listen, if you can't, and let me go back. Now the responsibility is, if you are a believer and your spouse chooses to stay with you, then stay there. Especially if you all can abide in peace together.
Right.
But then if it's no peace there and they want out, then give them that out. Don't make somebody stay somewhere that they don't want to stay. So you definitely have to do an assessment. What can you salvage? What can we hold on to? What can we rebuild again from and build again? So disasters happen in the natural. Disasters happen in marriages. We know of couples that have separated and divorced and got right back together, and it was so much better and sweeter the second time around. So that happens. And I'm talking about the second time around with the same spouse.
Right.
Let me make sure I say that.
That's good.
So it's not like sometimes the route or the way that you go, it may not look the way that you thought it would, but that doesn't mean that the Lord is not answering your prayer. Even though you may have to, babe, you stay over there. Because right now, mentally, I can't do it. I'm trying to go to school. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to make sure the children got it together. You too much. And you are a whole grown man. You should be adding to. At this point, let me let you figure it out. And I'm getting ready to figure this out. And then hopefully we'll come back together. Sometimes that may be just a wake-up call that's needed to grab their attention, because they know how bad you want to be married. And they know that you did not want to go through that hardship of saying he ain't right. So you keep covering and fixing them up, propping them up, versus let life do what it do so he can come on back around. The best thing that I can say, and I'm doing a lot of talking, I guess I'm digging down deep now. The best thing that you can do being married to an unbeliever is stay out of God's way. Let God do what he do. Don't be afraid of the dead ends and the brick walls. These are the best ministering tools that they could ever run into. They tell a story that no preacher can preach, that no nag could nag. You let your unbelieving spouse collapse. Don't enable them. Do not, don't enable them. Let them go ahead and run to the end of themselves. And hey, you'd be there to pray and help and guide them through, even if it's not even when it don't look how you want it to look. Sometimes that brick wall is, again, the best thing that they could run into.
Gotcha. Is there anything else you want to add? I think that's good.
Don't be afraid. Don't give up hope. If you are in need of just someone to talk to, you need fresh perspective, I am here. Patrick is here. Being a believing spouse is not an easy task, but it's not impossible either. For the full unedited version of the podcast, consider becoming a Patreon member for as little as $5 a month. With the membership, you will gain access to be able to ask questions during a live podcast. So click the link below to join now.